You're now tuning in with your host of A Voice to be Reckoned with, Brandy J. I want to thank you for choosing to allow me to give you a show which always has much info and a message in my episodes. I'm so excited that we're finally together so I can tell you more about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Okay, so it's free. Yep. There's creation tools that allow you to record, edit your podcast, right from your phone or your computer. True story. Yeah. And also, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can hear yourself, or you can hear me, Brandy J, Voice to be Reckoned with. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. What do you think? Well, all I got to say is mandatory call to action, everybody. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I repeat, this is a mandatory call to action. Go now and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Why not? We want to hear your voice too. Anchor, the place to be. And Anchor, thanks for giving me a home for a voice to be reckoned with.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brandy J's podcast, A Voice to be Reckoned with, would like to thank you for making the right choice in choosing a podcast that moves a nation. And now, here she is in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey there, everybody. This is Brandy J. Welcome to my show, The Parents Lounge. Excuse me. So the Parents Lounge, you guys, sounds like what it says. The Parents Lounge. It's where the parents come and lounge and the parents could kick back and get all the information that they ever thought they could. They never thought they, you know what I mean? They just can't get enough of, because we all know. People, that, when we have kids in school and dealing with school, it sometimes could be a hassle, especially if you work and stuff and all that, just like having to deal with whatever you're dealing with. So many different circumstances and situations. And so that's why the show was created, to be able to take that burden or confusion from, parents and direct them in the right, direction of, whatever it's needed. If it's advocacy, or helping you to become a better advocate for your child, and, the do's and the don'ts, and where you go for this or that. It's just a place where most likely you're not going to get an I don't know, or anything unanswered. It's always going to have something and somewhere for you here. That's guaranteed, because we covers it all. Now, we can't fit everything on one episode, right? Of course not. But we keeps it coming. So we do the job here. And, you can always feel free to email, which you'll find in my show notes, and to also message me, which you'll find in my show notes, my social media pages and links. Okay? So let's move right along. Okay? So as we know, kids are still at home. And most of them, I think now, are involved in online learning, the virtual classes and stuff on Zoom and stuff. So, you know what I mean? I guess everyone's is different. I don't really know. But for some kids, they get like 2 or 3 times out of the week. And it's like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It all depends. I guess I don't know everybody's how they're doing it all over the world. Zoom, there's a lot going on in Zoom. But so we got that there. But there's more, time still in the day because usually they're gone to school, but now they're in the house doing school in the house and everything in the house. But the time has been ticking and going along, and I guess maybe in the beginning for some of you the start was fresh and you're like, okay, I got these cool ideas that I'm getting, that we can keep the kids busy. And then after a while you're just like, I've got nothing. But that's not the case. There's still so many more things. That's what I'm here for, to help you remember, or just to give you a little, and you'd be like, oh, okay, thank you. Some might take, some may not, but it's all good because it's here, right? But I was thinking, something that you guys can do with the kids too is a documentary of how it's been from the time that this, was made aware to the children, what that was like, their first thought, and leaving school, and the days that have went by. You can even start documenting from today, but then like covering, the past, days, or however you want to do it, but just, taking, doing a documentary of what their experience has been as a family, what your experience has been, what have you, have everybody do a part where they talk, do a part in the documentary where they talk by themselves and talk about, how this has affected them. And, you can do it all together too, as a family. It's so many creative ways, you could go with this documentary. And what's even cooler, so you can let the kids, this can be a hands-on kids project, to where they have the person that's filming and who they're going to interview, and the person's going to, the sky's the limit here. And when you give stuff like this to kids, they know they execute well. Trust me, I know. They really enjoy it. But this is something too that you can hold on to, and it's valuable because it's history. This is a time where, that as an adult, I'm just flabbergasted, like what's happening right now, it's just crazy. So for kids, I don't know, like they're probably really like, what the, they just want to see their friends and go to school and stuff and be a kid, but the world just won't let up, the people in the world. And let's just live. It's so much craziness going on behind this whole thing that is, sometimes I just don't even want to talk about it or think about it, So that is something that you guys can do, and I think actually that's a lovely idea. There's always games like Clue. Now Clue, I don't think you can really get too bored with Clue, because this is the thing. You have these clues. You probably have something or some things put around the house, and then you have this list of clues for your kids to have to go through to find the next one, or or whatever, where I'm going with this, or solve a riddle that will tell them about the next, so that right there is actually, I think, a totally great idea, because that buys time too if you were busy or you're doing something, and it could be something that you prepare them for every day. It's like a part of your day where that's a schedule, where that space there is taken and you have that time, because every day now there's a spot where they'll go to get the clue of the day or that time, and then they will proceed to figure it out. And just make sure there's some kind of reward or bonus. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be, where it breaks you or you're coming out of your pocket. There's so many rewards that you can do for, give or do for your kids. So that's just something else throughout there. Yeah. And it's always cool, especially in these times, like for, to let kids explore their, imagination and minds and stuff, and, let them be their own little scientists. Okay. Let's see, can you make the vaccine for, Corona? But I would, that's just saying, like, get their minds, where they're coming up with, but now I'm just going to go ahead and say this, but I'm pretty sure, okay, I don't want to insult. Let's just put it like this. Our lovely president, likes to go on TV and then say the most not too smart things. And then you'll have these messages out in the world, of people putting like what he said, something about the Lysol, injecting the Lysol. It's like stuff like that. Like, whoa, come on, Donald. But, I'm saying that to say we got to be careful to say to our kids, because you might say, hey, won't you discover? You're just trying to get their little minds going and make them feel important, interested in the project. And then you've gone off and said, maybe you can come up with the vaccine. And the next you know, child has tested it out on one of the other kids. And God only knows how, they're performing the test. So let's be careful of what we say. So let's not make them think that this is, look at a grown man that says these things. So then it gets you to wondering and making sure you're covering, you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's when it comes to what you say to children or really grown children that runs the country. But yes, so that's something there. And we talked about virtual school, and I don't know how that's working for everybody, but it would be great I'm going to try to get some feedback and see how that's going. Definitely. But if your child is involved in virtual school, please make sure that they get there on time and do what they need to do so they can still move along, to the next grade and still get that help and, and still just, get as much education as they can. Even though it's not a lot of time, but it's better than none. And the teachers work very hard to be able to teach the kids. So take advantage, take advantage. Now, I hope that all of us have taken this opportunity. Of course, we say, yes, we teach our kids hygiene and how to this and how to that. This is on a whole nother level now. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, everybody's children, just because you teach them don't mean they're doing it. I work at a school. I seen firsthand. I seen kids walk straight out the bathroom without washing their hands. And was in there for a while. So, they were doing them, what. But I've just seen it all. I've seen the most wanted to puke displays of, of just not having hygiene. And it's not because they're, didn't learn right or anything's wrong with the parent. It's just that sometimes they just don't, especially with boys, just don't care, and so like now with all this that has happened, we really, really got to let them know the hand washing thing is so important, to wash their hands before they eat. And even when schools open up and stuff, it's gonna have to really horn in on the hygiene and the hands and all that stuff and keeping clean. But right now, while they're at home, this is our job as parents to make sure we are teaching or reteaching, and making it a habit, something habitual that they'll always do so that it can be easier to maneuver into when they're back at, physically at school. Now, personally, I think that they should really lose those water fountains. I say this because the old school I used to work at, I seen a little girl throw up in one. I don't know why. She's just going for water and blah. Yeah. Threw up in there. And then I see kids put their whole mouths on it and drink water that way. And I'm just like, I see kids spitting. You know what I mean? It's just gross all around. I don't do water fountains at all. Like, I'll probably like die of thirst first. I attempted once at the school I work at. I was like, oh my God, I was so thirsty. I had to be at that point my lowest. Just imagine if I was like really somewhere where thirst wasn't. I don't know if I'd make it because I was fucking thirsty. And I just slowly, it was like watching slow motion. I turned it on and opened my mouth, and all of a sudden I just spit it out. I was like, oh no, what was that? In my head, something was going on with that water. It was warm and it was disgusting, and I wanted it gone. And I said, I'll never do this again. But yes, water fountains, people, I don't think anything anybody can do to make sure those things are clean enough for the next, you know what I mean? Because people don't go around school cleaning those darn water fountains. And then it's like, when kids use them, water comes out their mouth. It's just going to be a germy little area that we can just do without and find another way. Water bottles, I don't know. But it has to be done or people will be sick, right? So they say, right? Okay. Yep. Well, just remember to always be your child's number one advocate and stand behind them. You know what I mean? When it comes to making sure the child is getting what they need or their rights as a student, or just, you know what I mean? Just, that's what any parent, just be supportive, be the voice. Don't expect anybody else to do it for you. You know what I mean? Like, these are your children, our children, and they depend on us. And, so as far as, advocating for your child and just staying involved, with your child in your school and getting to know people, making connections and stuff like that, because our kids are at a school where they spend most of their time, like, think of the hours and the days of the week and all the time kids are at school. So this is like a whole other family to them. So we're the parents, so we have to bring that together and form a team. It should only be that. It should only be positive, a team. Child plus what? I try to make sense of that there. But yeah, we have us as the parents, and then we have the educators and the teachers and the principals and stuff. And that right there is a village, a foundation that should be all just for the better of, those kids. Should be no discord or anything else, especially when it's not necessary or needed. Okay, we have so much other things going on. We need to unite more as people, individuals. Okay, it just drilled separation into people so badly that people don't even realize. Like, you're always trying to find a way to separate from others, or have a reason not to deal, or you're different and you're that. And it's like, dude, it's all mental. It's all just mental stuff. But we can always unlearn things, okay? Just know that. But I just really want to thank you all for joining me with my first run with Parents Lounge. And it's going to get better. I know it. I feel it. And thank you so much. And just remember, this is a one-stop show here. You don't got to go nowhere else when it comes to being a parent of students. Thank you guys. I'm your host, Brandy J, and have a blessed evening. Peace.